Okay, first of all, good evening from my side and good morning to you people. I'm from Bahrain. Originally, I'm from Pakistan. I'm working in Bahrain. This one particular topic, I'm interested in this one, especially the memes, because I had already been working on memes, their effects, and how they're able to shape the public opinion. This one topic about Ukrainian Twitter account. My friend, she's from Ukraine. She's my colleague also. So she was actually um, sort of bugging me every single day to come up with some topics so that we can work on it. So this is the first one in the series of the topics that we're going to do in the future. We are planning to do the audience analysis. So just one second. All right, let me start with this quotation. With one eye on the news anchor and a thumb on Twitter, you are less likely to feel useless in the face of the latest unspeakable tragedy. You can donate, you can write to your representatives, you can motivate, and you can console your friends. This is basically the whole premise of using the social media around us, because the young generation specifically who are addicted to social media, even if they cannot be part of certain activities or certain political upheavals that are taking place all around the world, they can still feel, or they feel that they're sort of participating. Sometimes they change their profile pictures, but they feel that they're related to the whole activity. So coming back to my topic, and I'll come back to that quotation again right at the end, Social Media Warriors, it's a case study on memes on Ukraine government Twitter account. We are going to follow the typical outline. The abstract is basically the memes that are being used normally on social media. Sometimes we just don't take them seriously. They're just a source of fun or humor. But every time something is being shared on official government sites, that means some sort of authority is lended to the whole process. That is why we chose the Twitter account of Ukraine government official, that's what they call it. I'm sorry about my throat. Right now, my sugar levels are going up and down. So you just bear with me. Okay, this whole incident between Ukraine and Russia, okay, I'm not supposed to call it incident, it's a war. It has created a different form of a war journalism, because those journalists or those media people, they physically don't have to be there. This again brings me to another point, which is related to virtual reality, which I will talk to you, Professor Hudson, later. Coming back to what, like, there are so many things I want to talk about the war journalism. It's not the way it was 10 or 15 years ago. The social media, these youngsters, or I call them social media warriors, they get their news, they get their information from social networking sites. That is why the use of memes have become a very important activity or the source of communication, because it is not just giving you amusement, it is giving a historical or cultural background of the event that is happening. That is exactly why we have used multimodal critical discourse analysis to analyze different memes that I'm going to share with you. Communication on social media, as I just said, that it has become so integral in our lives that we wake up with checking our social media, TikToks nowadays, and we go to sleep while checking the social media. So the exposure to information, disinformation, there is a very thin line between that. There has become a very thin line between fake news and the real news. So when we check out the official accounts, especially coming from the governments, it helps us to set a particular narrative as the audience or as the recipients. And sometimes we don't even go and check the news channels, because we know the narratives given by different news channels can be in favor of one party or can be against another party. So your memes have become a source of communication for politics, for war-related activities and not just fun. Okay, the same thing. Since we are talking about multimodality, the memes are again giving us a very clear picture, because the kids, especially nowadays, they don't have time to read the longer texts. So it's easy for them to see the image, to get the meaning, shorter, crisper description. It's good to send out the message or to make these memes viral. The whole premise of this study, it's based on these specific points. The first one, social media, especially memes, they make communication easier across a larger audience, especially when when one party is facing a stronger adversary. Second point, memes help in understanding the strategic dynamics between the rivals. Third one, social media spaces generate new data about support, popularity, and the conflict environment. And the fourth one, audience are given the opportunity to check the background in case they're not aware of the facts. Because when we talk about cultural background or historical background or cognitive details of a meme, it means that it is related to one particular region. But if that one particular region is trying to through the message to a larger audience, the way Ukrainian government is doing with the whole world, there are certain incidents which need certain explanations, and I will share that one incident with you soon. That is why these memes, sometimes it gives the opportunity, especially to the youngsters, to check the background. Literature review, a lot of research has been done on memes. It is totally, completely considered as a separate genre. And the political aspect or the war-related aspect still needs more digging. I'm not going to go into details of these different papers. The theory that we have used in this one particular paper is uses and gratification theory, because it helps us to understand MCDA. The two research questions that we use, what is the content of the Twitter memes shared by the Twitter account? And the second, what rhetorical functions these memes serve? To answer the first one, what is the content? The content is basically, it's related to the war, but why this content is different from the normal meme? Because they're trying to create a softer image of Ukraine in comparison to Russia, which is supposedly a superpower. And what are the rhetorical functions? We will just look at them. When it comes to methodology, of course, we have considered the critical discourse analysis, the researches that were being done by Fairclough or Wodak or Van Dyke, like all of them. And then we came up with, okay, I'm just rushing. We came up with this model, because we are going to analyze each meme on these 4 different levels. First one is presentation, intensification, identification, and implementation. How do we understand a meme? Based on the presentation, it means whatever the information that is given right in front of us, surface level. Second, how the information is conveyed. Is it humorous, sarcastical, like whatever the means are used, we will just see. What does this mean signify within that one particular time or the space? Is the presentation implicit or explicit? Plus, the presentation can be repetitive or innovative. I will just explain that. Intensification, this one section, it deals with the emotions that are created through the memes. Every single communication that we see around us, especially through social media, it is supposed to generate certain sort of emotions. If in this world of social media, if we're going to stop at certain information for a few seconds, it means the intensity of the message is strong enough to appeal to our emotions. So we will look at that also, identification, if we can identify with the whole message and how the whole message is implemented. Is it giving a deeper meaning, or is it just for the sake of fun? This is, consider this one slide as a sort of a fact check. because on March 20th, which is a few days ago, it was 24 days of Russian all-out invasion. There had been 1,080 Russian missiles launched, 112 people have been killed, 140 wounded Ukrainian children, 669 schools, 117 medical facilities ruined or damaged, and thousands of ruined apartment buildings. This information is basically what you are supposed to see on an official government Twitter account. But we see such memes also. I'm sure some of you might have seen this. Simple information, but how do we interpret it? What is being presented? That on the upper side, it's Russian military with all the might and power. The bottom one, it is a Russian tank which is being destroyed in Ukraine. So both the images are real life images. There is nothing like, not like a created or a cartoon kind of an image, the real life image. So the representation is the real life, but in Ukraine, as I just said, that it is giving the real picture. The information is made public through various news items where it had been shown how the tanks are being destroyed. It signifies the honesty and determination of Ukrainians. Of course, the whole image is implicit and it is repetitive. Why? Because the military is being shown and the sky is being shown. I will just talk about that also. Intensification, as I just said, that it deals with the emotion.
Shema, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to give you the 2-minute, 30-second mark, okay?
Okay, I'm rushing. So the intensification of the emotions, how it is created, the perception or the understanding of the need is intensified through the use of real-time images. Second, the color, line, distance, angles, identification. How do we identify with this meme? Peter Parker. This means the illusion is created with the pop culture so that the youngsters are not left out, so that they can actually associate with it. With the glasses, you see the rosy picture that Russia is great. Without the glasses, you see the rosy picture. And with the glasses, you see the reality. Okay, let me just quickly show you some other memes. This one particular meme, it is allusion to Titanic, again, pop culture. Why this one is important? Because according to Ukraine and according to the US news, the warship, which is representative of Russian power, it was attacked and it was destroyed and it sank because of Ukrainian missile. But of course, Russia denied it. The whole news, the whole detail, it was even shown in BBC. So again, although there is no real life image, but the whole incident, it is based on real life events. There is another one, which is again repetition. There is no innovation, but it shows how Putin with his family, military, diplomats, and where is he? We don't know. Zelensky, he's always there. Another huge allusion with Hitler, and it's a strong historical, cultural background, types of headaches. The creator has given a long interview related to this one particular meme, that it's not Ukraine, it's not NATO, it's not the European countries. It's just you're living next to Russia. Simple as that. So the world, they have to understand that the problem is not with the country or whatever they have done. It's a problem when you have a bad neighbor. I think I should stop now. I can share my whole presentation with you. The whole idea is the memes, they are actually have become an important part of digital culture. They help us to understand both sides of the story. And I said earlier that we're going to work on the audience analysis, that how people from both countries or the social media users, how they react to these memes and how they their perceptions are changed or maybe not changed. So I rushed, I finished. Thank you so much.